Hello and welcome to the second week of 3 in a row rerun episodes because we've got summer to enjoy with the suns and the bikinis and the lotioning and oiling and lotioning. I don't know anybody who actually oceans and oils, and the people I do know, if they did ocean and oil, it'd be revolting, including myself. Imagine me all lubed up, sexy. Hey, this week we've got the return of Swamp Thing, a follow-up from last week's rerun. I hope you enjoyed that. This one is a big gear shift from the previous foray into the DC superhero that is the Swamp Thing. This one starring Heather Locklear and directed by one masterful Jim Wynorski's. I hope you super enjoy it and get to the chopper. Jim Wynorski puts a clinic together for Wes Craven. You got schooled, Wes! This is Return of Swamp Thing on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at me!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at me!
No one! Hang on!
It stinks.
Hang on!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness. It's a podcast with movies on it. You know what it's about. You know what I'm about.
I don't think they know what you're about.
I'm about...
They knew what you were about, they'd be gone.
Run away. Dear God.
Dear God.
They're like, I thought this was a family show.
Yeah.
This guy's about nothing but putting things in butts. Jackie's here. Speaking of things in butts, how are you today, Jacqueline?
A little sore.
Okay, let's not dive any further. I think we're good with that.
I think we don't want to know what you're about either.
No. Oh no, I'm perfectly fine.
Excellent. Sam is here, of course, the voice of Sam.
And we all know what I'm about. Lies.
TV's
Sandwiches.
Sam. Yeah, right.
Lies about what movie we're going to do on the podcast. Not Cemetery, man. No.
And how big your sandwich is.
And how big my sandwich is.
I made
yes.
a sandwich this big. No, you didn't.
But yes, once again, I have lied and switched movies on us in between weeks.
Yeah, I let the peoples know on the socials.
On the socials.
On the tweets.
Did they get your tweets?
The sweet tweets.
Tweet us back if you got our tweets.
What is it when you post something on Facebook? Like, is it just
Posting on Facebook.
See, that's dumb, dude. You can't say shit like that's what you got to have sweet like leet speak like
For books?
Yeah.
Did you give him a for books?
My full books.
For books to you. How did you like it? No.
I didn't like it. Otherwise, I would have hit the like button. Yeah, Return of Swamp Thing, directed by Jim Wynorski, our stalwart in the stinker genre of directing. One of my favorite directors of all time, which I've made perfectly clear.
There are no boobs in this movie.
There's not.
There isn't any uncovered boobs.
Yeah, that's true.
There are plenty of, as close as you can get to taking the shirts off.
Right. Heather Locklear, in her early days. Well, 89. This is mid TJ Hooker, isn't it?
This is, yes, when she's also married to Tommy Lee.
Ooh,
so
gross.
both a TJ Hooker and a Motley Crue joke in the movie.
Hey, all right.
Because of the IRL.
Yeah. In real life?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the indie racing league. Yeah, fuck.
Just, well, we're talking about lead speak. I want to make sure that,
You don't
I'm
get any
old.
of my for books, do you? You would know more if you did.
Who else we got in this? Sarah Douglas.
Sarah Douglas, Time Machine, top 5 Time Machine hit list.
Back from Return of Beastmaster as well. Or Beastmaster in Time, whatever that.
Beastmaster 2.
Yeah, Beastmaster
And Flash
2.
Gordon.
She's not in Flash Gordon.
Yes,
She's in
she is.
Superman 2.
She's in Superman 2.
She's in Flash Gordon.
No, you're-
you look it up. She is Zog's evil lady in the black.
Zod's evil lady in the black.
Is part of Superman 2, yes.
She is Zod's evil lady in the black.
Hold on.
That is a different movie. It's called Superman 2.
I'm looking it up.
Oh, this is going to take a month.
Flash
Go.
Gordon. That's a really interesting one to get confused, Flash Gordon and Superman 2.
Flash Gordon.
Maybe you should get my for books and you wouldn't know that it wasn't for Gordon or Man 2.
This is great. I love it when you look up stuff because you're like, I can't find it.
yes.
I can't find these for books.
Where's my for books?
How do you spell for books? How do you do it in emojis? God, what is her name? Oh, she's fucking mixed.
Monique Gabrielle. Oh wait, no.
Marie Angela Melato.
What?
Yeah.
So you can't
That
even
is
read?
Not Sarah Douglas's name.
No, I take it back now.
Yeah.
But hey, at least I was able to find it this time.
No, you weren't. Who else we got? Luis Jordan's back from Swamp Thing 1, playing Arcane again, reprising the role.
He's okay.
He gets.
He got better.
Fine. And anybody else?
No, not really. The character actors were just Wynorski fellows that didn't seem like they were. Dick Dirtrock.
Oh, Dick Dirtrock,
Dick
of course,
Dirtrock, yeah.
from Swamp Thing 1.
From Swamp Thing 1.
Swamp Thing.
You can't tell, though, because in Swamp Thing 1, he's wearing a real piece of shit rubber suit, whereas in this one, you're like, fuck yeah, Swamp Thing!
Yeah, dude, he looks like fucking Swamp Thing.
He looks fucking awesome.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on with Swamp Thing 1.
And so now this is where where I justify myself for one, lying and sneaking this one in, and then two, because I withheld judgment last week on whether Swamp Thing was a do, because honestly, I wasn't prepared for how bad it was, because I only saw it the one time.
Right.
And I've seen this one a dozen or so times.
Let me stop you right there. I'll help you out. Whether you're a Wes Craven fan or not, you respect him.
Sure.
Until you see Swamp Thing and you're like, oh my fucking God, really?
Especially if I've had this one on VHS and I watched the shit out of it.
Right.
And so like when I had completely forgotten how much I hated the other Swamp Thing because it wasn't this one, it was like living that moment all over again last week for me. And it took me till about Wednesday of this week where I was able to actually wrap my brain around how fucking terrible that movie is.
Yep, that's
Which
awful.
at this point, because of that, I do give it a do.
Okay.
It's just not this one.
Right. Yeah, Dick Dirtrock. I think that's it.
And then the two kids that apparently
yeah.
didn't become the greatest actors of our generation, even though they had very promising beginnings in Return of Swamp Thing.
They were funny.
They're awesome. Oh, man, they're horrible actors, but man, are they a laugh riot. Sam, what else you got about Swamp Thing 2?
I was able to find an estimated budget of $4 million over the...
That seems a lot, actually, for a Wynorski film of this nature.
So here's an interesting idea, because Michael E. Uslan is the executive producer of this and the original Swamp Thing.
Okay, all right.
But he also was producing another film this very year for DC, one Batman.
Oh, so he's like Avi Arad.
Yes. In fact, he has gone all of the Batman stuff, and he's kind of taken over most of the DC stuff. He was actually exec on the most recent Justice League.
Wow. Yeah, no, that guy's legit, man.
He's legit. On all the cartoons. He did, and I'm going to give the guy a pat on the back because he did a really good job putting all those cartoons together. The Batman cartoons are sort of like...
Oh, the animated stuff with...
through the
Mark
years.
Hamill, basically.
The children's stuff, yeah. Or tween stuff, whatever you want to call it.
Or the me stuff.
Me stuff,
I fucking
too.
love that shit, man.
No, all of those series are really good.
Yeah, no, they're excellent.
So he had been the sort of caretaker of Batman for years and years and years, and now has branched out into the Justice League. You did Dawn of Justice and all that. So
I remember I was watching Batman the animated series when it came out because I people would be like, oh yeah, I think it was you actually, Sam. You were like, I watch X-Men. I was like, X-Men's a bunch of pussies. Batman rules. And then, so I was super into the Batman the animated series, but one time I'm watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, Clayface is totally going to get his comeuppance. And my sister walks in and she's like, nice big jaw. And I got mad. I wanted to beat her up. How dare you talk about Bruce Wayne's big jaw? He's got a big jaw because he's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Because it's a very square drawing of the
very
Bruce Wayne.
angular
Right.
drawing.
No, I love the art style.
The animated
Like,
series.
He looks dumb. He's got a big jaw. You're going to have a big jaw once I'm done with your face.
And sure, it wasn't as sort of conventional as the X-Men, but if you go back and try to watch that X-Men again now, it's basically still pictures with slow talking soap opera.
Yeah,
it is really hard to watch. And you can watch all those Batmans over and over again.
Jackie's like, I watched Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I did watch Darkwing Duck and Tailspin and that Scrooge McDuck one.
Tailspin was the Rescue Rangers can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
We are not talking about Swamp Thing. What else you got?
During production, So if we recall Monique Gabrielle, her character's name was Poinciana.
Right.
But they
Very
wanted
odd
to
choice.
abbreviate it in points, and obviously because of Knockers, right? It's a Wynorski film.
Okay, yeah.
So Lewis Jordan wouldn't do it.
What?
He's like, no, I'm not going to say that. And apparently there was consternation on the set between him and Wynorski. It came to the head at this point when he wouldn't say it. He's like, you were just in a movie called fucking Octopussy.
Right. I mean, right?
Right? Still wouldn't do it.
Hey, Monique Gabriel, you want your character's name to be Points? And she's like, oh, yeah, that's funny. I've got boobs, and I'm known for these boobs.
I'm here for two reasons. Neither one of them are my acting.
Now, Louise Jordan, let me back up. You were the villain in a movie about the most misogynistic character that's ever existed, and you're saying, well, I refuse to do that because it's low class. Who the fuck do you think you are? Did you watch Swamp Thing 1?
Yeah. You were in that.
I'm Jim Wynorski, goddammit!
Octopussy's like double entendre for like a vagina that doubles as a cow milker, so I don't even know.
Huh? All right. Sure.
I was watching a different movie.
Yeah, it was filmed in Japan.
The other fun thing I found out, because we did talk a little bit about this one last week in comparing the two, but Dick Durock's voiceover guy, uncredited.
Okay, all right.
Wynorski didn't have a great deal of back end on this thing. Like when they got done shooting it, that was it. And so when they come back to watch the premiere of it, I guess he was sitting next to Dick Durock, and the first time he says something, they both just turn to each other like, what? Like neither one of them had any idea that he got voiceovered.
Hi.
And so they're just like, that's not you.
Hey.
That's not me.
Hey, guy.
All right, well, whatever.
Nice. Jackie, is this the first time you'd seen Return to Swamp? That movie that we just watched?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Good job. On
thank you.
Commentary.
I sat there the whole time. I ate flaming hot Cheetos. I enjoyed this one much more than I did the first one.
Okay.
And I will agree with both of you that the Swamp Thing's costume was a hell of a lot better.
Okay, if
He
we
did
have
look
to,
like he had a mustache, though, from the brown stem.
if we need to remind the listeners, Jackie declared that he was a green veiny penis in the last one.
Yeah.
What would you describe him as this time?
A muscular tree trunk.
A muscular tree trunk. I think that's a. If you were to say, tell that to the costume designer, I'm like,
Thank you.
all right. Well, thank you
I
very much.
could only describe him as a motherfucking swamp thing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He looks like a fucking swamp thing.
He's fucking awesome. It's like, I mean, I have all the respect in the world for Toxic Avenger, old Toxie, but I think he kind of looks stupid.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing looks awesome.
They did a good job not overlighting him as well.
Right.
They kept those strings suspending the disbelief.
I also noticed a couple shots where I don't know if it's just the lighting was different or if they sprayed him over with a different colored green. But sometimes it seemed like he was a lighter green when the background was lighter behind him, and then sometimes it seemed like he was a darker green when he was more in like a piney area, like a dark foresty area. Like kind
He's
of
a little-
implying that he's a little chameleon.
He should be. That's what
Yeah,
I thought that they were
absolutely.
doing. And then sometimes he glows a little bit, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's brava, Jim.
Yeah, now, but the rest of the movie, I think, maintains the spirit of the original wonderfully.
Oh, the movie.
Yes.
Not the
No.
Alan Moore comic
Well,
series.
well, actually, it's Len Wein that started it.
Sure.
We should clarify that. 'Cause it
Alan
was-
Moore
made it
popularized
famous,
it.
and then also invented Constantine during it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does have a story, I guess.
Yeah.
It is mostly incoherent.
It's mostly showcasing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in terms of like it could have been just as confusing a mess as the first one had it not been done by Jim Wynorski, who was managing to say, "Don't worry about that over there.
Hey, look at these.
Look at these
Look at
and
these
listen
things."
to what I say here." These goddamn Jim Wynorski lines are great.
So funny. So fucking funny. It's almost like a tragedy because we put Jim Wynorski on such a pedestal for the show. And I've never seen a shitty Jim. Well, that's not true. I've seen Munchie. Oh, boy.
Munchie's rough.
Munchie sucks. But God, the guy was just so fucking talented, and he just like having fun.
Sure.
And I think that's what kept him from making the leap to mainstream. You know, because you compare him, say, like to Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell has a lot of fun, but at the same time, Bruce Campbell was not really. He was forced into being a B-movie star. He wanted to be, as mainstream as you can get. He'd take it whatever work. But it seems like Jim was kind of like, fuck that. I wouldn't be able to do boobs and stuff.
I've heard him say it, and he doesn't do a lot of interviews, but it always comes up that I don't like really doing stuff that I don't write, and I like making my jokes, and I like making movies that I'd want to watch.
Yeah, go fuck
yourself.
That's
what I do.
This is me. This is my shtick.
This is my movie.
And now he can only make money making softcore porn movies, sort of sci-fi. Ugh, sorry, Jim. You guys ready? Jackie, final thoughts before we get started?
I like that they brought back the long orchid vines, too, in this movie.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys noticed that, but when he takes Heather Locklear to his pad, those are everywhere. Okay. And that was a big thing in the first movie. So I thought that was a nice touch.
Nice touch. Maybe it's just the swamp. Maybe they're just everywhere. Okay. They're not. You're a botanist. You know shit about... You're a swamp botanist? A swamp botanist?
I'm pretty sure that orchids don't grow on the ground like a vine.
Oh, okay. I thought, what do I know? I'm no swamp botanist.
I went on the book and I didn't see anything about botany. I've heard that you want to stay away from the Botany Bay, though. Bad stuff.
Is that a fucking con shout out?
Yeah.
God!
All right. Once upon a time in the swamp. He starts immediately. Once upon a time. It's funny because Jackie and I just watched Legend, and we'll get into that at a later point in time, but it's the same kind of like once upon a time, but then you're in the swamp. No movie has ever tried to romanticize the swamp before.
No.
It's a swamp.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. Just like, we're here in the swamp.
No, there's no romance here, guys. Let's not make the same mistakes we made in the first one with Adrienne Barbeau's character. Like, I love you. It's a swamp.
It's a swamp. And immediately it's just got some jackasses in it.
Yeah, I guess these guys are like they're weekend warriors because they declare that they're weekend warriors, but it seems kind of like they're those militia guys that like have a base that like once their 9 to 5s are done, they go back to this base and they're like, we're the militia in case the government ever tries to fuck with us, but never ever really do anything because like if you're not gonna fuck with the government now, when are you gonna fuck with the government? Really, honestly,
I feel like 2 of them are maybe deputies.
Maybe
they're all in the National Guard. And they're freelancing after moonshiners in the dark.
Yeah, they're looking for shiners.
In hip waders.
Why wouldn't you just make your own?
They're trying to bust him.
But
yeah. I thought they were stealing the moonshine.
No. And you're wondering why they're after moonshiners when it's like you can buy booze.
Yeah, right.
Wherever.
Right. It's
this is supposed to be Louisiana, wherever they filmed this one, and Louisiana is known for having booze everywhere.
Right. Prohibition ended 50 years ago, guys. We've been in the swamp for a long time. They're like there's those Japanese soldiers that are still like thinking that World War II is going on. They never surrender. Sure. They're like, oh yeah, Prohibition. We're going to bust these bars down, motherfuckers. Uh-huh. And the Mexicans. What?
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 Just the bars? No, we're also
you guys
racist.
Gonna shoot some dolphins, right? Wait, what? Yeah, they screw each other all day.
That's what we do, right? Don't we? I'm not really sure what our idiom is.
We're gonna go shoot these moonshiners and we're gonna suck each other's dicks, right? Wait, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
It seemed like you did, Greg.
Well, if I did, what do we think about that? What do we think about that idea?
I'm not saying, but okay. So they're being stalked. Meanwhile, while they're stomping around in the swamp. And one of them gets taken away while he's taking a piss.
Yeah.
To wherever, I guess. I don't know. He just gets pulled into the swamp.
He gets pulled down there where, in the garbage compactor and never gets up.
Where his pee is.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Luke Skywalker?
Luke Skywalker business.
So I kind of thought at this point this swamp scene was punishing him because he was pee-peeing in the swamp.
Oh, you thought it was Swamp Thing that was stalking him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought, like he's really super bored. He's like, justice for the alligators.
Urine's bad for plants, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so
it's got ammonia.
Swamp Thing should be pissed about this guy.
He's pissed about the piss.
Right. Because if you think about it, let's rewind to our usual where we go with every creature feature.
Sure.
Do they poop? I don't think Swamp Thing poops.
He's a plant.
He's a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
wouldn't
doesn't poo.
So he wouldn't pee either.
Last week you said that the swamp was full of shit and piss and no one cared.
From gators,
Oh, okay.
not from swamp things.
Or humans.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So would he clean up the swamp because the gators are peeing and pooping in there too? Maybe. Maybe.
If he was standing next to that tree and the guy was just peeing on him?
Dude, seriously, right now, I just got these shoes. They're tree shoes.
Tree shoes.
I just grew these.
Yeah, I just grew these.
They're Crocs.
Oh.
Literally, I skinned one because it pissed in my fucking living room. So he gets taken away. Then the thing springs up and attacks them. What are we going to identify this monster as?
It's like a... Well, it's a guy.
Okay, yeah.
But
Wait, it used to be a guy.
It used to be a guy, but he's sort of got like a elephant octopus thing going on with a stomach mouth.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like a leech face.
Yeah.
A leech
Like
face
he
isn't bad.
could be a leech
Uh-huh.
because that's how a leech's mouth looks.
Right.
You know, with all the little teethies.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm thinking that he got cross mixed with a leech
I think he's...
and a snuffleupagus.
Yeah, he's part octopus, part great pit of carcoon. You get eaten by him and you'll be slowly digested for 7,000 years.
The almighty Sarlacc.
Yeah, unless you're fucking Boba Fett, and then I guess you just get pooped out.
He's
and
got
you're
metal
like, hey,
on,
whatever.
so he's fine.
I'm cool.
Boba Fett.
So he's there, and he's eating these guys because
He's hungry.
he's hungry. I
Yeah.
guess that's it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you turn into a leech, you got to keep a certain amount of blood in your system
Sure.
or you'll die.
Yeah, yeah.
And he doesn't want to get dried out.
Yeah, so they shoot at him, and it doesn't really do much, and so he has to retreat, or they all have to retreat, and they get split up, and a Jeep pulls up with Monique Gabriel,
Points, yeah.
and gun in it.
Poinsettia.
Pointy boobs.
Pointy boobs.
Pointy boobs.
What a great set.
Yeah, she tranks them, these two guys, and she, spoiler alert, jump to a couple scenes later, she's working for Arcane. She's a henchman, essentially.
She's number 2
Yeah.
into number 3.
What?
Yeah.
Number 2 and a number...
Because number 2 for him is the lady.
Oh, yeah.
And then number 3 is Gunn, the security guy.
Uh-huh.
But so she doesn't really get a number with him, but she's definitely number 3's number 2.
She's in the top 5 of guys.
Of guys. Even though she's a lady named after a flower.
So those two guys get nabbed, and they're taken back to Arcane's for more science subjects.
Sure.
They're going to be turned into plants and animals, combine stuff, like mashups, people mashups with stuff.
Yep. That part elephant,
Yeah.
part banana,
Right?
all locked up. That's what happens at this place. Just put you in a cage and go, oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they keep some of these guys going.
And then immediately vaporize other ones.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, throw him in the vaporizer. Like, okay, but what about Elephant Man that is obviously having a hard time breathing?
Yeah.
He's cool. He's good on the bongos.
They're like, oh, we'll see how he turns out. It
think-
looks like he's done, and he sucks.
Have you had his souffle, though? Wow. It's great cook, great bakery guy. He's a bakist.
Well, it's because he's got a trunk on the side of his head so he can run the stove and the oven at the same time.
Exactly. So the last guy back at the swamp, he's about to get eaten. His glasses are gone. He can't see shit, and he's about to get his face sucked off by this Cthulhu-looking dude. And Swamp Thing pops out, and it's like, hey, you look like Swamp Thing.
You look like Swamp. This isn't a sequel to the other one, is it? Because that looks like Swamp Thing.
And he beats the shit out of this freaking thing.
Yeah.
Just punches his lights out and chucks him. It's awesome. And then he looks at the dude. Dude's like, thanks, man. Thanks so much for saving my life, bro, because he can't see him.
No.
And puts his glasses on. He's like, whoa, what are you? And he's like, I'm Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. Hey, man. That's cool. See you later, buddy.
I'm Swamp Thing, he said, with charisma?
Yeah, because
He's got some self-esteem going now.
Dude, he is a rockin' cool guy.
Yes.
He's not just a man who saves people's lives by being part swamp. He's like that guy in that Carly Simon song, you know? He's a jet setter, as it were.
You're so vain.
Yeah. He's flying. He's going to be up in the Alps this weekend, you know, with the president of Monaco.
I think he's like the guy in that R. Kelly song. Trapped in the Closet.
What? Why?
Wait.
Huh?
What are we talking about?
Swamp Thing!
Oh, shit.
Oh, he's charming.
Yeah, he is. He's like he's just a likable guy.
He's just a likable plant, man.
If he didn't completely ruin your carpet, you'd have him over all the time.
Right, exactly.
Because you can tell he's pretty squishy because he makes a lot of squishy sounds. Like he's not safe on white Berber. That is for sure.
Cut to Credence?
Wait, what?
And DC Swamp Thing panel credit intro.
This was awesome.
All the fucking Marvel franchise.
When you watch this, having watched the other Swamp Thing a week ago, you're like, what was Wes Craven doing anyway?
I'm actually going, what is Jim Wynorski doing? Because this is good.
Yeah.
Like there's bucks and belief behind this. This is not his normal credit sequence.
No.
Like DC's throwing weight behind this.
Yeah.
They're using their material, their intellectual property, their art, their copyrighted material into a Jim Wynorski movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they saw it. They took one look at the costume and and the orchid vines, and they were like, "We're in."
Hey, it looks like Swamp Thing. Yeah, sure. What do you need, Jim?
He went to the DC offices. Him and Monique Gabrielle went there, and they're like, "We'll do whatever you want." Well, who are you? I need to meet your lady friend here.
So wow. We get introduced to Heather Locklear's character, Abby, or Abigail, whatever you guys want to call her. She works at a floral shop.
I think she owns it.
Okay, all right. And her life is a mess. It's a real mess.
She just spits out a bunch of fun Wynorski dialogue.
Yeah.
Poorly, I might add.
Yeah, oh, she's terrible.
Like, she's quite bad in this scene. And then there's some lady eating a can of green beans, watching her.
Actually, it was chicken noodle soup.
Was it? Was it still in a can, though?
Yep.
It looked cold.
Cold chicken noodle.
And then all of her flowers have boyfriend names on them.
Yeah, right. She's named all her plants. She loves plants.
She
She's
does.
already got a connection to them, so we see where this is going.
But she does say to her employee, I guess, you're in charge from here on out for a while. I need to go out and get my life in order. But that's an indeterminate break that she's taking from work right there. That's like
I'm the boss?
I kind of want to do that one day. I want to be at work and I want to be like, all right, you know what? I'm going on an indefinite hiatus.
Right.
And then just walk out and be like, is he coming back? He could. He said hiatus. He didn't say he's quitting, but this is very unclear.
I don't think he gives a shit. The funny thing is I bet you people do that. Like, it's not some outlandish thing that you've just said. I bet you people, because you hear about, like, people just disappearing, like they just fucking vanish off the face of the earth. And I think most of those cases, other than the kidnapping ones that get turned into sex traffic people.
That's awful.
Yeah, I think other than those ones, I think it's people that are just saying, I fucking had enough and I'm out of here.
But nobody ever really just says, you know what, I'm going to go on a break that might last forever or might last 5 minutes.
I don't know. I'm willing to try. You should do it on Monday.
I've had that happen to me.
I should tell myself that. You know me, I quit. Maybe.
Right. Jackie, you've had that happen?
I have. When I worked at a salon as the manager, people be like, okay, I'm going to go to lunch. And they never fucking come back. And I was like, oh, man, this place does suck.
All right, cut to Arcane. He's better. He just stopped being a man pig via science, I guess. Like, it's barely fucking explained.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. This is canon. This is the sequel to the first one, right? I mean, he's not a man pig anymore.
They do explain it later, but I wrote down right here, I was like, not even Jim Wynorski could write around this.
Right.
But he does. He's like
barely.
He fools you.
Yeah.
The keen Wynorski viewer. He's like, you think I can't do this, but I will deal with this in a bullshitty fashion later.
His men found, or some men, Dr. Rochelle found him in the swamp with a sword lodged in his tummy and his flesh cut open, and also he's a man pig, and then took him back to the science facility and spliced him together with some other stuff.
Well, that's what happens when you give a man moonshine after he's gotten gutted.
You just pour moonshine into a man pig and he turns into Louis Jordan?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Science.
Yeah.
Science. Well, that's kind of how they explain it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like they found me. Science.
Science, and I'm okay.
And I'm okay now. And now we're looking to reverse my oldness.
Well, he's deteriorating because of the side effect of his resurrection, I
Sure.
guess. He's becoming slowly grody, and eventually he's just going to crumble away into dust, or I don't know.
He's going to get liver spots on his hands.
Oh, my God.
And then his hair is going to like turn white and his fingernails are going to get all long and creepy.
So he'll look like a grandpa.
He'll have to become a boxing coach. And then Mr. T will punch him and he'll just die.
Yep. He's just not ready for a career change. He's just I've got to find the answer to this.
He's got a different house this time. He doesn't have a castle with a dungeon that's below water level that has a well in it.
He married up.
Yeah, he's got a sweet mansion that has a secret layer in it that's like a science base under there.
Yeah, Wynorski's project upgraded the bad guy business pretty good too from the first one.
He's got a secret lair.
He doesn't just have like weird rocky dungeon underneath the swamp house.
Well, I thought they explained that pretty well. He got married to Heather Locklear's mom,
Right.
and she probably had this place because she was a scientist, and he was like, hey.
Because scientists are always rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've always got creepy shit going on in their personal house.
Yeah.
And he just moved in and expanded it a little bit.
You know who Heather Locklear's mom is?
No.
Mrs. Locklear.
Oh, that was dumb.
Hey, I believe I'm the one that tells dumb jokes. He's hanging out. He's working with Sarah Douglas. Her character is Dr. Zurel. She and him and Dr. Rochelle are trying to mash critters and people together
So that he can live forever.
Yeah, immortality.
And where they're at right here is that they got stuck when they started combining people and animals and bugs. And it isn't producing any results. So they're just going to keep doing that.
How do you know if it's results?
It does produce results. It's like they're like, here's a cockroach man. They're like, oh, this guy's fucked up. Put him in the microwave. What about the half elephant guy? Oh, leave him. He hasn't turned out bad or good yet, I guess.
Not to mention,
He's still baking.
Yeah.
Not to mention, at what point during your employment application to work for Arcane do you get the tour of the secret lair and you're like, okay, all right, fairly straightforward underground science stuff. What's that? That's our giant microwave for if we need to nuke a guy.
Yeah.
That's our oops. We made a huge mistake with that one.
Who installed the giant microwave? How do you get a giant microwave for nuking guys?
You just build it.
Okay.
You need to have a punch bowl on the control board, too, because that's what they've got. And they're like, when you're taking your tour of the work first time, like, oh, that's a punch bowl. And they're like, don't drink that. Or do. You may end up in the microwave.
You could be a Dr. Moreau guy. He gets a visit from the sheriff because the sheriff's out looking for these guys that went missing in the swamps. His buddies, probably.
Sure.
His afternoon activity buddies. You know, well, we know what they were up to, right? You know,
They were after moonshiners.
well,
Yep.
and
I think they were looking to get raped.
jerking each other off, right?
Well,
You
something
guys
like
forget
that.
the beginning of the show
I know,
already.
They were done. They got past that part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after they go out hunting moonshiners for no reason, can't find them, have to take their shoes off, suck each other's dicks, then they usually just watch football.
And that's when the sheriff shows up.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you boys just sitting around again, goddammit. Like, we were doing stuff before. You just probably wouldn't want to watch it.
You don't want to hear about that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are good old boys. Kick.
Yeah, what do I pay you for? I'm like, I don't think anybody gets paid here, sir.
So now he explains the whole missing thing and that one of the guys saw this green Martian who saved him.
Yeah.
And Arcane's like, Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
We must get him.
But he seems pretty cool at this point. He's like, "Oh, sheriff," and the sheriff's like, "How about a tour with that lady
Yeah.
with boobs?"
Yeah, that's how you pay off the law enforcement is you just give them a tour with a chesty lady.
I also like that he decides, he's like surprised that Swamp Thing's still alive. He's like, oh my God, Alec's still alive.
He's still out there.
He didn't die when he fucking killed my ass and wandered off.
Right.
Why wouldn't he be alive, and why are you alive? You shouldn't be surprised.
Well,
he fucking killed you.
he kind of is surprised because Chesty Hair McChesterton,
the
guy who's got his gun,
Okay.
who's got his jumpsuit zipped down to his crotch.
He's hairy.
Yeah, and he is a hairy man.
All right.
And he's like, "Hey, look, we combed this swamp. Like, he's not in there."
We combed this swamp like I comb my pubes. And the comb is still in there. Can't get it out. Tried bacon grease.
So they just assume that Swamp Thing retired to Del Boca Vista or something.
Yeah.
He's relocated.
Yeah.
They're like, we looked, everything in the swamp kind of looks like Swamp Thing. Step 2 is unclear.
Found him. Nope, that's just swamp.
Yep.
Right?
It's a thing in the swamp. I don't know.
I don't even know what we're looking for, really.
And Arcane is like, he looks like a tree. And the guy's like, "Yeah, no shit."
Yeah, we saw some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to it. I was like, "Excuse me, are you Swamp Thing?" And the tree did not respond.
The tree said, "No, I'm the singing bush, you idiot."
We couldn't tell if it was Swamp Thing just holding still and pretending to be a tree, or if the tree was actually a tree. So, again, step 2 unclear.
So, Del Boca Vista. Okay. So Heather Locklear, Abigail, she's coming to Arcane's because she's Arcane's stepdaughter, as Sam mentioned. And she, I guess, the way to sort out her life is to figure out what happened to her mom because her mom has been killed.
Her mom didn't get a funeral, and she's pissed about it.
Like, what the fuck is the story there, bro?
Yeah, so she never got to say goodbye. And, if he would have just zapped her in the microwave and then just scooped up the ashes and was like, "Yeah, here she is."
Or just been like, "I don't know. I think she also went to Del Boca Vista."
Or closed casket the deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Or just say she's cremated and have a wake.
Right.
Send a card.
Yeah.
He could have done a lot of things to avoid this. However,
she did wait 12 years.
It wouldn't have really fixed any of his problems. He just wouldn't have had a weekend guest. Because I think ultimately, no matter what happens, Swamp Thing's going to come whip his ass. I think that she doesn't really have anything to do with his storyline whatsoever.
Yeah.
She just kind of has something to do with Swamp Thing's storyline.
Yeah, right.
Well, and she even says, I'm going to bring this up again. He's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in 12 years. And she's like, "Yeah, well, my mom died. Yeah, that was 12 years ago."
Wait.
So what's been going on?
Yeah.
I got a plant store. Neat.
Why are you here?
Okay.
I have daddy issues. I'm not your fucking dad. Okay?
Will you be?
Yeah, it was just, no, okay. I'm not going to dwell on this.
Can you be my daddy?
I don't think that's where she's going.
Okay.
I think he was going for, "Wow, you look just like your mom. Let me
Yeah.
touch your boobs."
Yeah. Right. Well, I thought he was going to clone her because he's like,
Yeah.
get a blood sample of her. She's the prime specimen. She looks just like her mom. But that's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to get a blood sample so he can test her blood to see if it's compatible with his immortality machine.
If her blood is like her mom's blood, then they're halfway there. Yeah.
Science?
But then Dr. Rosen,
Rochelle.
he shows up and he's like, well, the other half of the stuff is Dr. Hot Stuff.
Yeah. Or a security guard.
So Heather Locklear has nothing to do with this now.
Let's get her blood anyways.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know. Elsewhere.
At Uncle Shed's, perhaps?
Uncle Shed's Estates. I don't know if it's like a trailer park or whatever, but Uncle Shed's. That's not a place that I'm buying real estate in.
I thought they had a nice sign. It had neon around it, despite that it was a shitty sign.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Hey, no reasonable rate will be denied."
I thought it said no bait would be denied. Like, you can actually pay rent with fishing bait.
Night crawlers. How many is that in night crawlers?
How many would that be in night crawlers?
There's
like 3 cans of coffee?
Yeah.
Of night crawlers?
You can't pay rent in night crawlers, Jackie. Nobody accepts rent in bugs.
Nope. Money can't buy knives either. While we're
There's
discussing the
very obscure reference.
subtle
Good.
Ah, yes.
the subtleties of the economy of movies.
Now you do TED Talks, is that right, Sam? With your speaking skills, right there. You travel around and speak to people. Okay.
He likes to go through the alligator swamp.
Yeah. Well, usually I don't have to worry about pronunciation when I'm for booking people. I just spell shit wrong when I do that.
At Uncle Shed's estates, there's these two boys, these precocious scamps. They're looking to get into some trouble because they got no babysitter and the parents are gone at the one of them's house. So what do you do when you're a 10-year-old child with access to trailer park stuff?
Porno mags galore.
Porno mags and sodas.
Yeah. And equal opportunity product placement. Jim was like, hey, I got Pepsi and Coke. They both said no. That's okay. Hustler said yes.
Hustler's like, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're using half our actor staff.
Uh-huh.
Well, and they have a Japanese porno, too.
Well,
Young, it's called what? Young females or something like that?
They had a bunch of fake ones, and then they had, like, Hustler, Penthouse, and I think Savoy or something like that. They were real, and the other ones were sort of made up.
Yeah.
Only so many porno mags would even be in this movie.
Or maybe they're not. We don't know, Sam. There's a knock at the door.
I'm pretty sure I know.
Sam's been cruising the
I
websites.
have been to a lot of trailers for porno. Like a lot of them.
Oh. That's a thing?
They used to call me the librarian.
Oh. Was this last week? On your last date?
Last week, the week before that, the week before that. And, well, you can just keep counting weeks before that.
There's a knock at the door, and they're like, oh, it's our parents. Oh, my God, hide the porno.
They're like, Sam's coming over.
It's that fucking mustache guy again.
It's that guy that's going to make this unsexy by talking about what happened 3 issues ago. Oh, God, we don't care.
See, now why would you shoot it from this angle?
Yeah.
The pee should be coming towards the camera.
No one pees on a Camaro. They pee out the window of a Camaro.
But you're like, we don't know you. Go away.
But at least they might get the like, why are they peeing?
That was Hustler in the 90s, Sam.
Oh, Penthouse started doing the peeing too.
In the 80s?
2000s?
Yeah,
Right after R. Kelly.
This is still just ladies opening up their vaginas for people to look inside
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. Guess we could fit some stuff in there.
You're the perfect travel accessory.
Yeah.
Here, hold my smokes.
If you really get down to the logistics of porno, it is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Hot? Sure, maybe. If that's your thing, cool, Ted Cruz. But really, it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
There's a knock at the door. It's not Sam. It's the fucking Cthulhu dude.
You're like, oh,
Leech
I guess you just got beat up by Swamp Thing and he let you fuck off.
He's like, let me look at some of that porno.
It's like, do you have an extra Coke?
What is he doing there?
I don't know. This is a really good take, though. Like, they get the comedy going here where they open the door, he's there. You got a long take either way, and then they just close the door.
And then scream at each other.
Like, yeah. Well, they give it a nice beat, though, before that, too. Just like,
Right.
nope, yeah, never mind. We don't want anybody.
They bust out the window using Dad's bowling ball.
As explained by some lines there. I thought was nice. Some convenience lines. Hey, that's my dad's bowling ball.
But then Swamp Thing arrives, so he just pretty much beats the shit out of him. And then he swings and misses at the Cthulhu guy who's holding a metal rod, and that hits a propane tank, which causes the entire thing explodes. The entire trailer park, car after house after everything.
No, the Cthulhu guy who chooses the manner of his own demise.
Oh.
After they have some sort of oar versus swing set pike pole sword fight for a while where they break everybody's cars, then Swamp Thing just sort of like wanders off, and the other guy, the Cthulhu monster, just whacks a propane tank with the oar, and Uncle Shed's place gets real fucked up.
It explodes. One after another. It's like everything's tied together for explosions. I mean, I know a trailer park is one match away from turning into the Great London Fire, of course, each one of them. Also watch out for tornadoes, guys, listeners, fans of the show. This seems excessive.
Yeah. Well, this is where you sort of can go, this is where, Jim's not going to get another DC movie. Because he's spending his big bucks on just blowing shit up, unrelated to the film for the most part. He's like, I go so fast that if I'm going to have a set piece, it really isn't going to be much of a set. It's just explosions.
Hey, guys, go back those cars up and then stick a bunch of dynamite in
So how am I going to get this to blow up? Just shut up and go over there. We're just going to blow this shit up. Yeah. It'll be a shot of the shit blowing up, and we'll do some other stuff around it.
We'll fit it in.
We'll fit it in. We're not gonna have to. We don't have to, do some heavy lifting this way.
Well, it does have bearings to the plot because Arcane reads about it in the news the next day. It made headlines that the Uncle Shed's exploded.
What newspaper do you think this is?
The National Enquirer.
Or Swamp Times?
Oh, hey.
He still lives next to the swamp.
He does.
Kirk-kirk-a-choo. That's what the paper's called.
It's the Walrus?
Kirk-kirk-a-choo. The hillbilly sound. I can't make it.
That's actually a good one. The hillbilly sound.
The hillbilly sound is the newspaper. That is correct. Okay. All right. So he basically is like, all right, well, we've got a lock on Swamp Thing. Call in Megaforce. He sends out guys.
They just start hot dogging around in boats and jet skis and four-wheelers. And about halfway through this sequence, I just wonder if this isn't what they do every day. Right.
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock. Let's jump it.
Yeah, they're just jumping stuff. They're just doing little jumps on four-wheelers.
Abigail confronts him about his mother's death, and he's like, oh, well, I'm sorry for that. Here's this ring, which cuts her so he can collect her blood. So now he's got that. I guess they're going to test it or something. And she's like, you know what? I don't like you. I don't like this mansion. I don't like anything that's going on. I love this dress. Wow, I look hot. I'm going to go out into the swamp. Peace.
Yeah. Peace out.
You like that dress.
No. I think she probably liked it too. It's Heather Locklear.
Yeah. I didn't realize that she was as chesty as she was.
I think they were bolt-ons, to tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah, either way. So he's like, don't let her be out there alone. Go follow her. And she stumbles across the moonshiners. These two are a couple pieces of shit. I don't really like these guys at all.
I loved this because you didn't expect for the moonshiner scene at the beginning to pay off.
Right,
and it does. And you find out why they're hunting these moonshiners. They're not just hunting them because they make moonshine. That would be fine. Mm-hmm. They're just huge dickheads.
You want to go steal a car?
They run over dogs. They shoot. They poach.
These are the guys that if they weren't in Return to Swamp Thing, they would be like in one of those Wrong Turn movies. Like you end up on our car broke down. Can you help us at this hotel that we've knocked in? They're like, oh, sure, come on in. And then they eat you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it turns out they're fucking their sister, who's tied to the bed because that's the only way to keep the family line going. And then Mulder and Scully come in and they're like, Elvis is dead? What? And then it wins an Emmy for the episode. Yeah.
Well, I think that they take the wig off the sister and it's just the other guy pretending to be the sister.
We ate your leg, Bill. Hey, can I have some? I look delicious. And we had sex with you. Well, I like that part.
That's the part. That's why I keep this wig around, to be perfectly honest.
How come you ain't pregnant yet?
I did poop real big last week.
Yeah, I know. We kept it.
Oh.
It's your little brother, Steven.
Oh, that's stupid. That's just dumb.
They're rednecks.
You can't have poop babies. No.
Yes,
no can. Poop babies.
In my storytelling, you can. All right, so they're gonna the moonshiners are gonna do horrible, deplorable things to her. But Swamp Thing says, not on my watch, motherfuckers. How are these guys even still in? If Swamp Thing's just been basically this whole time wandering around doing swamp heroing, how are these guys still in operation?
They just haven't fucked up bad enough.
Yeah.
They kill people.
They say that.
Yeah.
They're like, what are we going to do? We're going to finally go do that stuff we talk about? No, we're going to drink this jar of moonshine, piss on ourselves, and sleep next to a log. Wake up spooning and act like it didn't happen.
Yeah. All right.
Same thing as we do every week.
Yep.
So he kind of tosses them around, gets her, and they run off. And they have a very mellow conversation. This is the first time that Swamp Thing and Abigail have met. And she's like, hey, handsome. And he's like,
Yep.
what's up, baby?
Like, hey, I'm Swamp Thing.
I'm Heather Locklear. He's like, I know. I like it.
I like plants.
Yeah. We have a nice...
I am a plant.
You can just tell that there's natural chemistry there.
Yeah.
And a little botany.
Hey, those are college classes. But she gets nabbed immediately by the goons that have followed her. And he's like, "Rawr, I'm going to beat you guys up." But he gets hit in the chest with a fucking grenade.
They blow him up.
Yeah, he's exploded.
And then all of a sudden, bad guy's there. And he's like, oh, go collect him. Go collect the pieces of Swamp Thing and will make me into a god.
Yeah, because I guess now he wants swamp goo.
He needs that too.
I don't know.
And then the number 1 security guy, Gunn, who's the number 3 guy, doesn't turn to him and say, wait, who do we need to plug into the machine to make you a god? Because I'm starting to get confused
you
now.
just keep listing off people to plug into this stupid immortality machine.
If I have to get plugged into the machine, I'm not going to like it.
It seems like we could just call the pizza guy and plug him into the machine.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, let's get him too.
Yeah. Oh, we've come up with the discovery. Really? We're going to plug him in? What's that? He's going to turn into an Ant-Man. You're going to put him in the microwave, and then we're going to just do next week.
Right. Have you tried just running it by yourself and see if it does anything, Arcane? My God. But anyways, Swamp Thing turns into goo, floats down the swamp into Arcane's sewer system, I guess. Drainage pipe.
Now, do you think that he's doing that on purpose?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if he just kind of ended up there.
Which kind of implies that he used her as bait, like, hey, babe, I think you're looking pretty good in that dress. I see those goons coming. I'm going to use this opportunity and let you get kidnapped.
And let me get blown up.
And let me get... It doesn't affect him.
Do you think it hurt?
No!
No, he's Swamp Thing.
He made a plant.
He just, does stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is where he actually... Versus the first movie, they're like, wow, they're loosely using some of Swamp Thing's actual powers. Loosely, at least.
Loosely.
Not just having a guy in a rubber suit wander around.
Yeah, so Dr. Rochelle comes in. He's like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute, Arcane? We've got another scenario that we could run by you for Immortality Machine and people's blood and their condition type that we need, whatever. The security guard... Jim, we can use him. He kind of sucks anyways. And then your bang lady, Dr. Zarel, is the only 2 candidates. What about my stepdaughter and Swamp Thing? Don't worry about that right now. We need to use this as a opportunity for Dr. Zarel hearing us talk about this so that she can betray later in the film.
Even though she's told to go take a bath, she's eavesdropping.
She doesn't take baths when she's told.
She does. Later, she decides to take that bath.
She's sort of thinks about it. Maybe I should take.
You know what? I didn't take a bath today, and I smell.
I mean, they have a point. You know, sure, it was a little demeaning for them to tell me to just, hey, lady, this conversation isn't for doctors who are women, just doctors who are guys. So go take that foo-foo bath of your plan. But they do kind of have a point. I do smell terrible, so you know.
Or she's just had enough of their shit, and she's like, Calgon, take me away.
I don't think she ever takes the bath.
No, she doesn't take the bath. You know who takes the bath?
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. He comes out of the faucet.
He is the bath.
Yeah. What would happen if she was in there when he comes in as Goo Phase?
He probably would have, flicked her bean a couple times on the way up.
Boink, boink. Yeah.
Give her a wink and then you're welcome. And she's like, oh, Swamp Thing.
Found the man in the boat.
Is it sexual assault if you're Swamp Thing coming out of a bathtub?
Probably.
It's a gray area.
I don't think it is. I think it's still...
I think if you're a woman and you get into that bathtub with green water...
Oh, yeah. You would have to be into the bathtub before he goes into the bathtub. That's what my scenario is. I guess nobody gets in the bathtub when it's empty. So,
Well, nobody gets in the bathtub if it's green.
well, unless you're
it's
like,
Swamp Thing.
I'm pretty sure that Swamp Thing in there, and I'm nude. I would consider that consent.
All right.
Yeah, so no, I don't. But if she's in there beforehand and he comes in and then he flicks his bean on the way up of reforming, then yeah, that would be sexual assault. Just who's in first? Who's on? What's on second?
Well, what do they try him as? An adult, a minor, or an oak?
That's not.
I couldn't come up with anything else.
Okay. I love this scene. It has nothing to do with the plot, but I just want to give another shout out to Jim Wynorski. Meanwhile, during all of this, Arcane is just downstairs playing evil Halloween music on his pipe organ.
Oh yeah, it's totally a fun, like, hey, by the way, kids, this is diegetic sound instead of it being part of the score, because you make it. It's on for a good 4 or 5 seconds first, and you're like, ooh, he's hitting the score with the organ. And then you see him playing, and you're like, oh, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's just, see.
He's just an ordinary guy.
Playing evil pipe music. Okay. It's very cinematic. Elsewhere, Abby has tricked her way out of her cell by tempting Gunn with the butte, and then proceeds to knee his balls repeatedly.
And he keeps going, yeah, we're finally having fun.
Yeah. Oh, what about these balls? Oh! And she gets up the elevator, finds Dr. Zarel. She's like, you get out of here. These guys are dicks. Here's my car, keys. It's parked out front, and she's like, there's like 17 cars parked out front. You don't, and how many people work here exactly?
And then Dr. Zarel's like, yeah, it usually says what kind of car it is on the key. I'm not a doctor.
Right there.
I mean, maybe you're not a doctor, but it says Jeep on those.
So immediately she runs right into goons, though, as she's trying to get away.
One of them being the key to human mortality.
Right.
Steve.
Oh, I thought Steve already got zapped.
No, he's still at work right now.
They wait till he breaks his neck down the stairs.
His keys say Miato.
Yeah.
And then they raffle that off at the company barbecue at the end of the year.
Steve's Miata?
Yeah.
That's Dick, man. His girlfriend was hoping to get that car.
Well, she doesn't know where he's at.
Everybody acts like it's a bad deal, and then the one person that wins is like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to keep it anyway.
Right. But right in the nick of time, Swamp Thing comes out of the bathtub and punches these goons that have got her, and she's like, oh, awesome, cool, how'd you get in here? And he's like, don't worry about it. Let's go. And so she's like, I got keys. And then cut to Swamp Thing driving a Jeep.
Yep, so he's like White House down, just like brodying out in the lawn.
Yeah.
So that she can shoot like 8 of them with a shotgun. She's like, wait, what? Heather Locklear's got a shotgun now? And she's just dusting dudes right and left.
The front yard is exploding. There's grenades going off. All sorts of shit as they make their escape through the front gate.
Well,
awesome.
That she blows open with her grenade.
Right.
Yeah.
She had one of those too.
Where did she put it?
So they get away. Yeah, in the prison pocket.
I think it was in the glove box.
Of the Jeep.
Yeah.
Not okay. Okay.
Did Jeeps have cubbies? Maybe it was in there.
Of the Jeep. Okay. Just being clear on.
Jeez, Justin, your crush is really screwing up your game.
Just been clear on the orifices of the grenades are stored in.
Hustler magazines and like, what can I fit in there?
I mean, we all saw Tommy's dong. It's pretty big.
You know, I never did.
I can fit a lot of stuff.
I never saw it. It's like everybody's like, "Oh, hey, Tommy Lee and Pam Anderson having sex." I was like, "Yep, yeah, it's something I don't want to see."
Pass.
You want to watch that? No, I'm good. Okay. I watched some weird shit too.
I'm gonna go back to the tentacles.
Yeah, that says something about those two, doesn't it? Considering the porn I've watched, and I've never seen that.
Yeah. All right, so Arcane, he's kind of okay with it. It's not a full lost cause because he found Swamp Thing goo on his porch. I guess Like he wasn't fully formed, or he got hit with something and like bled out a little bit of tree goop.
He just shit falls off of him. He's Swamp Thing.
He's just swampy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's a goo dude.
He's a goo dude.
He's a good.
You're in the
goo
swamp, right? And you're swimming around and shit. You're gonna get crap stuck to you.
That is you.
He is the swamp, and the swamp is him. When he goes swimming, does he get wet or does the water get him?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so he's like, I'm going to make use of this.
He's
Maybe.
like, we've got the Swamp Thing material we needed. And the doctor's like, remember when I said it was just the other doctor and Steve?
What do we need? I'm so confused at this point.
I've come up with a new theory. We need Donahue. Phil Donahue. He's the one that's going to make you live forever.
So they escape. They go to the swamp. She wakes up in the swamp the next morning, and she's like, hey, that was great. I slept wonderful.
She didn't. Her neck is stiff.
I
Covered in leeches.
I love the swamp. Fact check. Where you live is my thing. I like leeches on my body, and I like leaves stuck to my face when I wake up.
Leeches on my butt.
Leeches on my butt and leaves on my face.
Mosquito bites.
Yeah, mosquito bites. I am down.
A possum ate my toe.
I like it. It's fine. Possums need toes too. So how about you and me make this official?
Yeah, that's what happens.
I'm moving in. And he's like, I can't give you the love that you need. And she's like, I'm pretty sure you can.
So then he pulls a flower off his hip, which is hallucinogenic, and then they go into the Matrix and bone.
Correct.
That's what happens next.
That's how you have sex with Swamp Thing, is you eat him.
Drugs.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to use it as a dildo.
He ate himself too, though.
Yeah, he did. Well, you both have to be really fucked up on the thing to have it.
Yeah. So what happens? Is it just the same as Demolition Man? Like,
No, you're just fucked up on drugs, and she fucked Swamp Thing. Like, he had sex with her.
or is it all in their mind?
It was in their mind that he was human.
He doesn't
but
have a penis, Sam.
He can have whatever he wants.
Dude, he's a swamp thing. He'll just grow one.
He gets to
could grow a
pick
dick.
the size of the wiener he wants.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
be honest.
Yeah.
That's a superpower in and of itself.
It's literally morning wood. Touch me in the morning.
Swamp man.
Okay, yeah, so they screwed. They totally screwed.
They boned down.
I thought it was just all in their mind.
Well, I'm sure Wynorski was like, I don't want to show the swamp thing getting.
Oh, yes, he did.
He wanted to show the Swamp Thing getting a massive erection. He
Yeah.
just knew that the MPAA would not
Yeah,
allow it.
that's not going to work. Meanwhile, the two boys are back to their shenanigans. They're going to try to get rich quick by taking a picture of the Swamp Thing
Yep.
and selling it to Sun.
Whoever the highest bidder
Yeah,
is.
Weekly World News. You know, I think they were good on Bat Boy though. They were doing Bat Boy for quite a while there. I don't think they really give a shit about Swamp Thing. Bat Boy's kind of a bigger deal.
He is.
So they've got their camera. They're heading out, stomping into the swamp, and they're gonna look around, find him. But immediately after taking a break, they get nabbed by the goons.
Yeah, they're nabbed by goons.
Why do the goons care about these two precocious scamps?
They're just such assholes that they'll fuck with anything.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, they're going to steal their candy. I mean, obviously, they're going to try to steal candy because.
There's no candy left.
Yeah,
I know, but they don't know that. And they dug through the candy bag.
and ate
And
the
like,
apples.
oh, dude, you guys, these are really good apples. Thanks. Oh, and I want that camera too. And they do it because they're just bullies.
I think actually, Gunn is shooting for Employee of the Month. He's like, hey, I know that you recently have had this revolving door of characters that may or may not give you immortality. So we found these two kids, and you know what? Plug them in, see what happens.
Yeah. Either that or he's gunning for not Employee of the Month, and all of these guys are just doing anything that they possibly can to avoid doing their actual jobs.
At any point, they're going to
Like-
walk away.
Yeah, they're like, we're supposed to be finding Swamp Thing. Hey, there's a couple kids. Let's fuck with them for no reason. Which totally backfires because Swamp Thing shows up.
Yeah, he hears their screams.
And before the Swamp Thing fights are sort of just normal fights.
Getting chucked around.
Getting
and-
chucked around, getting punched. He takes a baseball bat to these guys, and they're not okay.
No, two of them, I believe, have their heads come apart.
Yeah, they are not. They didn't make it.
They did not make it, including Gunn. He takes a baseball bat right to his face.
I believe the gun has superpowers.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his pubic hair has been stuck in his zipper for so long.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't even care anymore.
Right.
Like, it's just no pain can,
His hair suit is thick enough that he's nearly invulnerable because of later events that we'll talk about.
Yeah. So the dudes are gone and the boys are free, and the boys are like, hey, let's take his picture. Swamp Thing, can we take your picture? And he's like, only if you pose with me, because I'm awesome.
Yeah. So he gives the one kid a bat for his little slugger.
Yeah.
Got his hand on his shoulder.
It's like posing with Santa.
Yeah, and the other
this
kid...
bat technically would be covered in blood.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go, kid. Hold on to this.
Hey,
Let's take a photo.
Hold up the bat so we get some brains in the photo, too. We want to show that.
Still the top of a man's head on the end of that.
Yeah, there's teeth embedded in it right there, so make sure you get the teeth.
Meanwhile, the other kid cannot manage to snap a picture in like 3 minutes. Jeez, kid.
Oh, this kid. Oh, boy. Not prepared. Anyways, Abby gets nabbed again, and he hears her screams, and he's like, I must go. Bye-bye. No time for pictures. And they're like, God damn it. It's Arcane this time. He's got her in a fan boat, and they're gone. But he saw Swamp Thing, so he's like, yeah, what you gonna do about it, boyo? You can't do shit. Come attack me at my house.
And then Swamp Thing's looking at the fan boat leaving, and he's like, wait, I thought it was Steve and the doctor that were going to make you immortal. Why are you kidnapping her now?
What do you want? Seriously. So he puts Abby in the science chair back at the science lab.
Yeah.
And she's going to get zapped and turned into whatever to give him immortality. I guess now she's back to being number one prospect for him.
Well, also, Steve was in the chair. And then Dr. Zoran came in and took Dr. Rochelle, and then stuffed him in a closet.
Right.
And now they're back to plan A?
I don't know. I don't really care.
Well, it's like Steve's blood is in the punch bowl.
Okay.
That's just punch.
It could be just Kool-Aid. I don't know. Anyways, Swamp Thing's like, raw, my girlfriend's in there. He busts in through the gate, starts pounding on guys, bonking them left and right. And Arcane starts the operation on Abby, and she gets her essence taken.
Yeah, before it seems
She's
like
dead.
we're going to have this DNA and that DNA, and we're going to put it into you, and you're going to live forever.
Right.
Instead, they plug him into this, like, massage chair. They plug her into a massage chair, strap her down, and he takes her life force.
Yeah, her life force. Her,
It doesn't seem to have anything to do with DNA.
No, it's more like soul stealing.
Yeah.
I will say that, though, that I thought those chairs looked very comfortable.
Oh, well, he's an accommodating guy, that Arcane, when he, kills you.
Plus, he has to sit in one, and he's not going to sit in an uncomfortable chair.
It was a 2-for-1 special. He couldn't just buy one comfortable chair.
Mm.
So she's dead. Swamp Thing comes in. He's like, my girlfriend, I guess. I don't know. He hits Arcane with a chair, and Arcane goes down. And then it's pretty funny when Arcane I like when people get hit with chairs. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's very wrestling.
And then, boom, out of nowhere, Dr.
Rochelle. I don't know why that one's so hard for you.
Is because he's a man with a lady's name, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
I want it to be Dr. Rosen, and it's not.
Dr. Asthma.
Yeah, he just bursts through the door, and he's Brain Man now.
He's like the fucking wizard, the Hulk enemy. Like, what's with your head, bruh?
He's Megamind.
What was in that room?
Well, she did shoot him up with the stuff.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, she gave him I thought that was just like a sleeping tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Horse pill.
I want to say, though, I wanted his hand to go through Brain Guy's head.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah.
That was what I was waiting for. I thought this is going to be so awesome.
Right.
He was actually also expecting a little bit of a fight from Brain Man, but at this point, we are pretty much sure that Swamp Thing is just going to fucking kick your ass.
He just throws him around again.
There's no fighting.
Shucking.
Swamp Thing's going to kick your ass. You can't fight with him.
He eventually throws him in the microwave, and I guess there's too much matter, this brain matter in the microwave, because it's like, I can't nuke this, and overloads, and the self-destruct there's 3 minutes before the whole place goes up.
Well, you're not supposed to put metal in it. and his belt buckle was made out of metal, so it caused the malfunction.
Yeah, good tying that one together, Jay.
He had one of those really expensive refillable pens.
Yeah, see, it happens.
He had a metal plate put into his butt from after he got his ass kicked from Swamp Thing.
Yeah. He's got your ass kicked so bad we're going to have to replace it with a metal plate. And then Swamp Thing's going to put on some steel toe boots and kick your ass again. Twice.
Into a microwave.
He's right through that metal ass of yours.
Just lift the lid to shit.
So,
I think it's drop the gate. He's got a drop gate on his butt now. It's metal.
Speaking of the gate, I totally forgot. We were going to talk about Gunn outside.
Oh, yeah. He gets blown up by Swamp Thing because he's got a Volkswagen thing with grenade launchers on it. Mm-hmm. And he'd already talked about his special equipment. And you're like, oh, fuck, now here's a fight for Swamp Thing.
Right.
He just throws a grenade at him and blows him the fuck up. Yeah. And then kicks in the door and wanders off, right?
I think Gunn's totally exploded. He's dead.
Yeah. And you're like, well, that was not a fight. Then all of a sudden, after he dismisses Brain Man so quickly, Gunn shows back up and you're like, oh my God.
He's got a fucking chainsaw.
He's got a chainsaw. And
now
like,
we're getting somewhere.
He's going to cut Swamp Thing down. Nope, Swamp Thing just knocks the chainsaw out of his fucking hands, punches him in the face, puts a grenade in his pants, and blows his ass up. Like, Swamp Thing is really invincible in this movie.
He is not fucking around at all.
You cannot fight Swamp Thing.
And then, like, it cuts back to Swamp Thing after Gunn explodes, and Swamp Thing's, like, got this look on his face, like,
yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Well, that's what he gets for saying that every guy on staff had boned Heather Locklear.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And, you don't talk about somebody's girlfriend like that,
No,
even
that
if it is true.
That is my different species sort of girlfriend.
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy. I think he likes it. I think he likes killing people.
No, he was admiring that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, it smells like burnt hair.
So he grabs Abby, lifts her out of there. He looks at Arcane, who's trapped under the door from Rochelle's exit.
Yeah.
And it's like,
see you later, dude.
guess you're fucked.
Yep.
Because place is exploding. You're
Peace
not getting
out.
out of this one.
Peace out, bro.
He leaves. Whole mansion explodes. Lab, boom, kaboom. I guess Arcane's dead. I don't know. It's morning. And he revives Abby using his Swamp Thing resurrection powers, of course. Yes. We're established in the first one. And the kids are standing over there. They're like, hey, got your picture. Yeah, we finally got it. We're going to be rich. But then Swamp Thing looks at Abby and he's like, hey, just so you know, there's going to be some side effects from me doing that reviving thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm. And then she gets a toe sprout.
She is plant person.
She's Swamp Lady.
Was there a swamp lady in the comics?
I don't know.
I didn't read a lot of Swamp Thing.
I only read the Alan Moore stuff and no, there was not. Post credits. Kids forgot to put film in the goddamn camera.
And you expect it to go somewhere, and that's all it is. They're just like, you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. God damn it. Play Credence. This shit's over.
Yeah. First question. So did Adrienne Barbeau also become a plant lady? Because he revived her.
He got tired of her.
And maybe she just, maybe you eventually just turn into a tree. You can't be a swamp lady. You just become a plant.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't have transmutation yet.
Okay.
He just revived them, but now he's sort of losing control of his revived powers.
When did he get transmutation? Was there a whole Swamp Thing 1.5 that we missed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was in between those two and Heather Locklear.
Okay. All right.
And he also turned into a non-veiny dick.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, that happened.
Something clearly happened between 1 and 2.
He evolved.
Yeah.
We need to know.
There was beyond that. I mean, there was a gap where he was a stupid-looking piece of crap, and now he's fucking awesome, and he kicks everybody's ass and makes jokes. So there was some things that happened in between 1 and 2.
There's a whole discovery period of his life.
It's like he had to go through puberty, and then once his voice dropped back down, finally, he's like, all right, now I'm ready to kick ass in the swamps.
He took a trip to Burning Man,
Yeah.
did some really fucking weird shit, and then came back with a new perspective on life and superpowers.
And some Credence tapes.
And some Credence tapes. Okay, I'm good with that. Who's next?
I'll go next. I only have one question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to be spliced with another animal
Okay.
or an insect
Okay.
or a bird, you know
Okay.
where I'm going.
No.
What would you get? What would you splice
Just
yourself
animals? Or so are you talking? Oh, like if hey, I'm here to deliver your pizza. Oh my God! Somebody nabbed me because they think my blood's going to be used, or my soul, or my essence. I don't even know, into a mortality machine. But first, they got to operate on me, and they're like,
They got to give you somebody else's genes, and you might turn into something else.
Here's your options. What do you want? Chimera.
Chimera?
What the hell is a chimera?
It's already a mashup. It's,
Undead cat thing.
with snake tail and wings and lion head and
What?
it's that three-headed.
That's a griffin.
No, that is a griffin. Chimera is
my God.
three-headed lion with one head being a lion, one head being a snake, and the other being like a bear, I think.
I thought a chimera was just like a dangerous, made animal by alchemy.
Could be that too. I think it isn't. Actually, I think so.
Yeah.
If you go to the alchemist's refuge in Skyrim, there is a chimera protecting it.
It's
so
like
maybe
an
you're right.
it's like an animal golem kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it.
Okay.
Chimera.
I'm picking. Is it a person or an animal? 'Cause you didn't pick a person.
Dude, I
or an
picked
animal.
chimera.
I
Come
know.
on.
Rocket. I wanted to be a spaceship. They blended my DNA with big rocket. I'm a flying penis. I love it.
You blow the exhaust out your ass?
Yeah, into the moon and space.
Technically, he already does blow the exhaust out his
Yeah.
ass.
I just haven't made it to space yet, and it's a wonder why.
Not enough thrust.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackie, I can tell you wanted to say something. Who do you want to be mashed up with?
Well, I didn't have an answer.
Oh, yeah.
But how am I going to be Rocket and weird three-headed animal?
There's always.
I was going to pick a unicorn, but now I just
Yeah.
look fucking lame.
Like, what kind of... If you had to be half animal, what would you be?
I will be a rocket ship. I cannot answer that question properly.
Sammy.
What do you think Swamp Thing eats?
Well, sunlight, obviously.
Yeah.
And water, of course.
And air.
And air, yeah. I guess that's a dumb question.
Get some photosynthesis going on.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
I guess third grade would have answered that question. Fuck.
Good job, Rocket Man.
Chlorophyll, more like borophyll.
Can Arcane, legitimate question, can Arcane be in Swamp Thing 3?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they didn't show him. Like, they said that they switched the vial, and he was growing something on his hand.
Right.
So we don't know. He could mutate into a snake and, like, sneak out a drain pipe.
Or maybe he was in a transformation period, like anything that puts in at that point. Let's embellish on this. He gets immortality from Heather Locklear. I think
Sure.
that's pretty clear. He gets vialed by one of the other components to people, and that's the wrong component, but maybe that is the start of the transformation. Then he explodes. Maybe he gets like explosion power. Maybe he's like Blasto.
It looked like he did have like corn kernels coming out of his hand.
Right.
Yeah, so
He's turning into popcorn.
There's a huge explosion, and all the ducks in the swamp are like, yeah!
these were the children of the corn came from. Those are his children, and he's popcorn.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clear. He's popcorn.
He's popcorn.
Okay.
Swamp Thing will fuck him up. Have you seen Swamp Thing kick people's ass? It doesn't even make sense.
Who's next?
That was my only question. Was the stupid one
Okay.
about third grade?
What kind of guys has Abby been dating up to Swamp Thing?
Tommy Lee.
Yeah, okay. Because she takes one look at him and she's like, doink.
Yeah. And me, in her defense, I refused to watch the man have sex with his wife on the internet. So.
Right. So that's it. That's just like she went down to Sunset Boulevard this whole time and was like, ugh, it's 1989. Nirvana's right around the corner. You know what, plant guy, I'm down with you, but I am fucking tired of these cocaine douchebags.
Yeah.
From L.A. Yeah, too bad or too good for Heather Locklear. I guess she
But
went on to be
pretty much
bigger,
just like
better things.
this thing might have been a real bad deal for her.
It could have been, but essentially it's a launch pad into Melrose Place.
I think she probably would have rather done other things.
Maybe
Yeah.
than Melrose Place.
Yeah.
I don't think she could have. Did you see her in this movie?
She's terrible. Daphne Zuniga ends up in Melrose Place as well.
Yeah. Right.
She was in Spaceballs.
Whoa. All right, that's questions. Final recommendations, kids, on this one. My first, absolutely. It's Jim Wynorski, so it's pretty hard to say no to. But my God, was this a lot of fun. This is an 8 out of 10 for me, for sure. I have one more question. I'm sorry. Swamp Thing 3. This is pretty tame in the violence department, and I think it's fine. It doesn't. If I had one like thing that would be missing, I would say punching through a guy's face or something. But I kind of think that maybe would conflict with everything else that's going on in the film. But 3, uber violence, would it have worked? Like Machete type
I'm
stuff.
sure you could have worked, but the problem is that after this, I just want more of this.
Yeah,
I just want more of this.
Yeah. All right. Final recommendations, absolutely for me. It's one of his best movies. I absolutely loved it. Super fun. 8 out of 10. The bomb. Stop what you're doing. Go watch this movie right now. Jackie.
I'm going to give this a solid 2. The one-liners and just it was just super funny.
It's hilarious. It's awesome.
And he has the sex.
And he has the sex with hip drugs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sam?
It's an absolute do for me. And boy did Wes Craven really,
Really, guy?
It's the first, and it's fun to have him watch them in consecutive weeks because you're about 20 minutes into the first Swamp Thing, scratching your head, wondering what the fuck happened. And then you're 2 minutes into this thing, and you're just like, really, Wes Craven?
Dude, you are getting pwned.
Really?
Buddy.
Really?
Ugh. Oh, yeah. All right. That's 3. That's a pretty serious recommendation from us. It's on Vudu and all the other streaming channels right now for $2.99.
It totally worth $2.99.
It's
very rare to say that.
I think this is a buyer.
Yeah,
I think
you should go
get this.
Yeah, find a Blu-ray of this job.
There's not a Blu-ray. There's only the DVD. It needs a re-release. For sure.
Let's get on the internets and interwebs and start demanding
the books.
Blu-rays.
Got to hit the book,
Yep.
Sam.
Get to booking DC.
Speaking of sweet tweets, we got some listener feedback this week from listener Redcap Jack on Twitter. He says, fun fact about Swamp Thing. The first one. He says he loves Swamp Thing, by the way. Fun fact. Actor David Hess, who was the punk commando in Swamp Thing 1, he wrote All Shook Up, the song, for Elvis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wrote All Shook Up. How about that? It's kind of weird.
That is kind of weird.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
He is best known for multiple roles as a rapist, but especially from Last House on the Left, also Wes Craven.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, did you just say rapist?
Yes. He's best known for his roles as a rapist.
Yes.
You saw Last House on the Left. It's arguably the yuckiest of them all next to Deliverance. But
It's hard to watch.
It's hard to
Yeah.
watch. Even when she starts getting fucking vengeance, it's hard to watch. Yeah, it's just a hard watch. Dude, you made an emotionally disturbing movie intentionally and executed it, and then you did Swamp Thing. What the fuck is your deal, Wes Craven? Redcap Jack goes on and says that he met him while working on a Horror Fest show, and yes, he chatted about Swamp Thing with him. So there you go. Fun fact. All right, guys, that is your show this week. We're going to get into some more streaming do's and don'ts next week, and I've got a great superpower debate that I think is going to be a real electric fire.
Having electric fire for a superpower?
Nope. Jackie, it's your pick next week, though. What do you think?
We are doing Flesh Gordon.
Flesh Gordon.
Yes.
Flesh.
That's
Flesh.
It's a porno, isn't it?
That is a porno, Jackie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we're not doing Flesh Gordon.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. It's just a spoof of a
Boy, the
Flesh.
plot in this one's really thin.
Guess what, guys? I just got it just came down the pipe. It's a big deal. Called Beyond the Green Door. We're gonna check it out.
Yeah. Hey, let's get on Indiana Jones. You know. Yeah. All right, Jackie will let us know what she picks sometime at some point.
I'm sorry. I thought
Hey,
it was a
you know
spoof.
What? It's Spooktober, so you should probably
it is
fire up.
Spooktober.
We're probably going to watch The Midnight Man.
The Midnight Man. I'm still not sure about that.
That one also sounds like a pornographic film.
No, I watched this one. It is not a pornographic film.
Okay.
It actually stars the lady from the Conjuring videos.
Vampire Diaries.
The Vampire Diaries. No.
Stars the lady.
The little old lady that's in both the Conjurings.
Oh, great. She's awful. Check that out. We'll be back.
Yeah,
next
The Midnight Man.
Isn't that Happy Gilmore's mom?
Yeah.
I don't think it is. Anyways, bye. Get to the chopper. Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.